Bismillah, alhamdulillah, assalamu alaikum, peace be unto you. We have an exciting show for you today. You see the tie. What's the tie? What's he doing with the tie? He never had a tie. We're going to be talking about the tie. And we're going to be talking about Islam. Submission to who? To your nafs, to your desires, to a man, to a woman, to a monkey? No, to the one who created you. But some people have come to that state. They've acknowledged that there is a creator. There is a purpose why I'm here in this life. But now they want to try to form an agreement with the one who created them and say, you know, I'll submit to you, but you're going to let me still drink. I'll submit to you and you're going to still let me have my girlfriend. No, it doesn't work like that. And to cover this this is a very important topic because you want to be successful in life, in this life and the life to come. You know there's going to be a day of judgment. You're going to be judged. And then there's two places to go, the delights of paradise or the hellfire. We want to stay away from that. So let's bring out my next guest to cover this topic. My brother and your brother, Kemal El-Mehdi. Come on out, my brother. Assalamu alaikum. Have a seat. You're here on the Deen Show.
Everybody watch Deen Show. The Deen Show. Deen. Allah, there's only one God and Muhammad is his messenger. Allah, la ilaha illallah. Allah, there's only one God and Jesus was his messenger. Allah, la ilaha illallah.
I don't know why I did that. Maybe it's just to break the ice. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum.
Peace be unto you.
Alaikum. Peace be unto you.
Thank you for being on the Deen Show.
It's my pleasure to be on the Deen Show.
This is exciting to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Now, I heard something, or you heard me say something from back there. I mentioned something about tie. I've never worn a tie in the show.
Excellent.
Now, might be somebody who's like, man, Eddie's sold out. What's happening, man? He's imitating the so-and-so. So can you tell us, clear this up, because we want to talk about something that's so important to us. And this is very important also. So let's just clear this up. Is this permissible in Islam to wear a tie?
Okay, yes. First of all, yes, it is permissible.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't want to get in trouble with anybody.
Well, hopefully...
Because I want to do this the right way. We want to do this show, and we want to do everything dressed right, look right, and we want to talk right.
And you look great, if I may say so.
MashaAllah.
Excellent. Well, you know, there's nothing wrong with the tie, yeah? And initially, or historically, the tie had another piece to it that made it look like a cross. So basically, your shirt had two extra buttons here, and then you had a material similar to that of your tie, same design, same pattern, and you would basically button this other piece across, and then when you put the tie on, it looked like you were wearing a cross. So because of that, some kind of hatred and issues developed in the hearts of Muslims specifically for the tie. But obviously it's no longer that, and so scholars say that there is nothing wrong with wearing the tie because it's become a common piece of clothing. It's not anything that would single you specifically to be belonging to a specific creed or religion, because everybody wears the tie, you know. So there's nothing wrong with it as long as you're not doing it for the sake of imitation. Maybe you're just wearing a normal garment and it's not made of pure natural silk, so there's nothing wrong with it.
But what about imitation now? Now, where some people say you're imitating a certain people, what do you got to say about this?
Well, the scholars have spoken about that, and they said that, you know, imitating where it's not permissible is where you wear something that signifies you belong to a specific belief system or a specific creed. So wearing the yarmulke, for example, would make most people think that you're a Jewish person. Or wear that collar with, I don't know what they call it, but that collar, the priestly collar with a white part in there, would make you look like you're a priest or something like that. Or wearing a cross would make you specifically look like you belong to a certain belief or creed. But wearing the suit and tie, if you see someone in a suit and tie, even in the Muslim lands, you don't think, is this man Muslim or not Muslim? It doesn't necessarily represent any belief system or religion.
Yeah.
And for that reason, the scholars say it's permissible.
You'd have to take off just the whole suit then. I mean, that just...
Yeah, because sometimes you wear, and I also wear a lot of suits and ties, and I love wearing the suit and tie. And a lot of times people will meet me and they'll say, take off the tie, because then you're resembling non-Muslims. Well, what about the rest of the outfit? You know, the shirt, the pants, the jacket, and the vest, and everything else. So you just have to remove everything. But because it doesn't specifically mean you belong to any certain belief or anything like that, there's no issue with it. Inshallah, this is what the scholars have said.
Okay, so now you guys can continue Eddie Zeddy and he hasn't sold out to Freddie, and everything's all good and steady. So here we are.
Excellent.
So, all right, so let's go on to the topic. We need to submit, and we need to do it how the Creator wants us to do it. But there's some people that now they want to submit, which is something natural, to submit to the one who created you and do the beautiful things that he's called you to do, and then
Right.
get that beautiful thing that money can't buy, peace.
Yes.
But now, some people want to barter now. They want to start playing games. Talk to us.
See, well, first of all, you look at Islam, and Islam comes from the root istislam, which means to submit. And it's funny that you want to enter the religion of submitting, but you don't want to submit 100%. That's why people laugh at the oxymoron or of saying, I'm a non-practicing Muslim. Because the Muslim is the one who submits to his Creator. So if you're a non-practicing Muslim, that means you're a non-submitting submitter. Which really doesn't make much sense.
No.
Because we're supposed to submit 100%, we're supposed to submit to Allah, and when Allah says go right, you go right, He says go left, you go left, because that's the attribute of someone who is submitted to the Creator. You know, just like if you have a student who doesn't listen to a single word the teacher says, teacher can't describe him as being a submissive student, or, you know, or a child. You know, if you have a child who doesn't listen to you, you can't say, well, he's very submissive. So when you submit to Allah, you do what He tells you to do, because He is the Creator, and you are the servant, or you are the slave, if you want to be more specific even, you see. So a lot of times you'll find people, and we meet sometimes non-Muslims in the street, and they want to become Muslim, but they have stipulations. So they'll say something like, and I'll become Muslim, but I don't want to stop drinking alcohol. Or I'll become Muslim, but I love my pork chop. So I'll be a Muslim, but I'll still eat pork. Or they'll tell you things like, you know, I want to keep doing whatever it is that they want to keep doing because their heart is attached to it. Sometimes there's one person who made so many stipulations, and then he said, I'll become Muslim. I just had to ask him, look, you're forgetting that Islam is about submission.
You've had a lot of these practical situations happen?
Absolutely, and we're going to get to the Muslims as well, because some Muslims have submission issues as well. But some non-Muslims would say, you know, they would have so many stipulations and then say, I'll submit if I can do all these things. And then you tell them, look, this is the religion of submitting to Allah. But you have conditions, and you want to submit only if this happens or only if that happens. And that's not really coming into Islam, not really submitting. Because I always ask people, who is the Lord and who is the servant? You know? You're trying to set down the rules of your own religion now, and yet claim that you're submitting to Allah Azza wa Jal.
You would, I mean, just interesting if I can interject. I mean, if you had a boss at work, and, you know, a big corporate company, and now you're not going to go and sit there and, you know, give them ultimatums and say, I'm going to, you know, change the rules. And
or I'll work for your company, but, you know, I have to be able to leave at this time, and I can do
Doesn't
that,
work like
and I
that.
take this any time off that I want to. It's going to say, you know what, go, we'll get someone else.
Or the police pull you over and say, you know what, I'll drive on this road if you can make it 60 instead of 40, or...
And you don't have that choice you know, with many things in life, but people are okay with submitting there. I'll tell you, I actually met this guy one time, and he claimed to have an issue with submitting. So you'd think that he's probably a very stubborn guy who doesn't submit to any authority or anything on earth. So he started telling me, I have a problem with submitting to anything or anyone. So I immediately told him, but you do submit. You submit every single day to so many things. And he immediately realized that he submits to the traffic laws. He stops at the traffic light. He does this. He drives at the speed limit. You know, he doesn't do what's illegal. He has to do, you know, certain things to stay out of trouble. So then
That's
is
submitting.
submitting.
That's submitting.
You're
submitting.
Yeah. So I told him, but you do submit. And he immediately realized, and he said, yes, you are. You're
Because
right.
maybe the word, people aren't used to hearing this word, submit.
That's true, and because, you know, this exaggerated thing of freedom, you're free to do as you please as long as you don't step on the toes of the majority, which isn't really true, because when you look at society, you'll find so many do's and don'ts in it that you're not really free. And that's why, you know, a lot of Muslim scholars and philosophers, they argue that there is no such thing as absolute freedom.
Let's stop right
all.
there. So there's no such thing as absolute freedom, and we're going to take a break and be right back on the Deen Show.
Excellent. No speech is better than to do da'wah, to call people to Allah and to do the work.
No speech is better.
No, nothing is better than that.
Is it true that if one person, on Allah giving you the ability to guide someone with Allah's permission, the Creator's permission, that is better than everything in this world?
Better than the whole world and everything that's in it. In another narration, it's better than the best of wealth. But if we really felt that, Eddie, would we not be out giving da'wah?
And this is something that we encourage all the MSAs, all the dawah organizations, the masjids to get this. We want to print more. We give these to the non-Muslims for free, for free, for free. We want our brothers in humanity to become our brothers in faith. And we're back with my brother, your brother, Sheikh Kamal Malki on the Deen Show. You're really not free. You think you're free. Talk to us. That's what